Hola amigos, yo soy Javi y esto es VirtualVision VR. Como siempre, espero que estéis bien. Y si no, mucha fuerza para todos. Hoy nos toca planetario y ya veréis qué historias más chulas nos van a tocar hoy. Va a ser increíble. No os entretengo más, ya sabéis cómo va esto, todo en inglés, un inglés muy facilito. Así que adelante vídeo.
In this VR celestial tour, I will show you the autumn constellations. The days are cooling and the nights are filled with the songs of insects. Fall is one of the best seasons to relax with a good book and good food. Don't you agree? The stars also have plenty of stories to entertain you with. Let's take a walk out in the starry sky. Let's start with the Great Square. Where do you think it is? That's right, here. This is the Great Square. It is actually a part of the Pegasus constellation. Pegasus is a mythical winged horse that gallops across the sky. This is where we'll start learning about the fall constellations. Pegasus was the beloved horse of Perseus, and they enjoyed many adventures together. You have to agree that flying upside down in the sky with carefree abandon is really spectacular. Next to Pegasus is Aquarius. Aquarius is the constellation of the young man called Ganymede holding a large jar and pouring water from it. This beautiful young man caught the eye of Zeus, who brought him to the world of the gods to serve as a cupbearer. His parents missed Ganymede very much once he was gone to the land of the gods, so Zeus made him into a constellation so they could see him in the sky from the earth. I guess that the boy was just too beautiful for Zeus to let go. Ganymede became an official cupbearer. It's not actually water he is pouring from his jug, but alcohol. Ganymede is pouring this alcohol on the constellation of Piscis Austrinus. The bright star of its mouth is known as Fomalhaut. Fomalhaut means the fish's mouth. I guess it must be drinking all that alcohol intended for the gods. Fomalhaut is the brightest star of the fall constellations. It's easy to find because it's so bright. Give it a go. Can you see it? Now, there is a large V-shaped constellation nearby. Which constellation do you think this is? It's Pisces. Why do you think it is in the shape of two fish joined by a ribbon? The two fish are in fact the beautiful goddess Venus and her young child, Cupid. It is said that the two were attacked by a monster and changed into fish to escape. They tied themselves together with ribbon so they wouldn't be separated. Zeus was moved by this touching story of a mother and child and commemorated the two of them in the constellation of Pisces. And at that time, Pan was also there, and here he is as Capricorn. Pan was so scared by the monster that he tried to escape by turning his legs into a fishtail and swimming away. Zeus found the tail so curious that he turned Pan into a constellation. That's why the legs of Capricorn are in the shape of a fish's tail. Pan's reason for becoming a constellation isn't a heroic story, but it is a popular one. Now, Let's introduce Aries, who is relaxing as he watches the panicked Capricorn. Here he is. Aries was a flying golden ram that was sent by Zeus. The ram rescued a young prince and his twin sister from a murder plot and got them to safety. Later, the ram returned and was made into a constellation. The golden fleece of the lamb was kept as a treasure. Maybe it still exists somewhere in this world. There is another famous constellation near Aries. Do you know which it is? Yes, it's Andromeda. It might be easier to work out which direction the Andromeda Galaxy is. The Andromeda Galaxy is located here. Can you see it? According to the myths, Andromeda was a beautiful and graceful woman. The story about Andromeda takes place under an autumn night sky. Andromeda's father was King Cepheus. This is his constellation. Her mother was Cassiopeia. This W shape is the famous Cassiopeia constellation. One day, she said something very prideful. She said that none of the sea nymphs could compare in beauty to her Andromeda. The sea god Poseidon heard this and was enraged. He sent a giant sea monster to drown their kingdom in a giant flood. The king knew that in order to quell the rage of Poseidon, he had to sacrifice Andromeda to the sea monster. King Cepheus had no choice if he wanted to keep his kingdom safe, so he tied his sobbing Andromeda to a rock on the coast. Poor Andromeda was left trembling alone as the great waves threatened to consume her. Then the sea monster appeared. It looked for sure that Andromeda would die. However, just then the brave Perseus appeared on his fantastical horse Pegasus. Perseus was on his way home from defeating the witch Medusa when he saw the sea monster coming for Andromeda. It was perfect timing. He used the severed head of Medusa to launch an attack on the sea monster. The sea monster was turned to stone by the power of Medusa's severed head. Perseus defeated the sea monster and rescued Andromeda. He brought her back to her father, King Cepheus, and asked for her hand in marriage. Andromeda and Perseus were married and lived happily ever after. This story of a princess being saved by a hero and living happily ever after ends our fall tour. How was it? Why don't you take a break one of these nights and look up at the stars? See you soon.
Bueno amigos, ¿qué os ha parecido? La verdad es una sensación inmersiva total. Si no visteis más vídeos de estos del planetario, os recomiendo que vayáis para atrás y los veáis, porque están chulísimos. Y en inglés es facilito del todo. Y bueno, con esto terminamos. Como siempre, si os ha gustado el vídeo, darle a me gusta y compartirlo a tope. Y si no estáis suscritos, ¿a qué esperáis? ¡Suscribiros! Un abrazo fuerte y mucha fuerza para todos.